Hello everyone, welcome to AdiTrade. Today we're going to be seeing the Nifty and Banknifty analysis for May 30th. This is the daily chart of Banknifty that I've opened. From Thursday we had a pretty good up move. As for my Thursday analysis video, I had mentioned that this gap is very important in Banknifty. See, on Thursday exactly we took resistance at this gap, and Friday we got a gap up and came up. And I did mention that if this gap is filled and this level of 34,800 is broken, we can have probably a good move on the upside. Now, how far can we go up is on this daily chart. There is some good resistance at over here between 35,950 or 35,800. I'll be showing you other things why we could come up until here. This is one possibility. Now I'm just going to put on the CPR levels and shift to a lower chart, lower time frame 1 hour, and I'm going to be using the monthly CPR as we still have 2 more days left in this month. See this X mark, all the X lines, the cross lines are the monthly CPR. There is a possibility if we could even touch this monthly CPR. See, this entire month we haven't touched the monthly CPR. Let me put off this moving averages. See, the entire month we haven't touched this CPR, right? And after getting this nice bearish move on the downside, once this CPR S1 on the monthly broke, and we have even closed above the previous month low, so there's a good possibility we might hit 36,400. That is how many points from here? It's not for another 900 points. It can be achieved even in one day. Probably even on Monday it can be achieved after a gap up. Say we get a 200 points gap up, after that it's just another 500 points, right? So it's not too far away. There's a possibility we could come here because we still have 2 days left in this month. That is for the monthly chart, that is Monday and Tuesday. Then we'll have the next month, June month CPR, monthly CPR that will come up, right? So there's a possibility we'll come here and halt. The other possibility is there is another thing that is pointing some resistance. There is we have the 200 EMA on daily in Banknifty. That should come up now. See, the pink line is the 200 EMA, right? So once we broke the 200 EMA, we went too far. Now possibly if we come here, we might take some resistance. That level is around 35,840. So between this 35,840 and 35,930, right, in this 100 points, there is a possibility we'll take some resistance. We have had a nice 2 to 3 days good run. So if we come here, yeah, we can be a little careful, not be too bullish. There is a chance of a small reversal from here, that is 35,850 to 35,900 on Banknifty. And once this resistance clears, right, that is 35,900, then the next level of resistance that will come probably for next week, if this bullish price action continues, probably we can even take resistance here at 36,000, somewhere over here, 36,500. And even if that is broken, we can probably even go until, say, this trend line over here. There's a possibility we might even come and touch this. But before that, there are many resistance, right? We'll have to keep that. See, most of the move that has come in the global markets and the Indian market, it's basically the short covering. See, what happens is when you short for the entire 2 months, some short covering and profit booking will happen, right? So that will give us a bounce. So we'll have to see how far the bounce will go, and if we don't break this high, right, there's again chance we can even dip further. So it's not like the markets have turned completely bullish. It is just a retracement. So we'll just have to wait and see how far we get that retracement. Now coming to our intraday levels on 15 minutes. So these are all the resistance lines that I've marked where we could face some resistance on Monday. How I got this is nothing but when you pull back, you'll see all this swing high that we made, right? When we are coming down, we are making lower high and coming down. All these points can act as resistance for intraday levels, and there is one gap over here between 37,000 to 37,400. Not sure if we'll go fill this gap and then reverse. So these are the levels that I'll be using for the next week. And on the downside, we will have our first level of support will come here, that is 35,300. Then this gap can act as a good support, that is 35,200. And looking at the CPR levels for tomorrow, we have R1, we have a good support at S1. Along with S1, we have a good price action support. So in case we dip and come over here, probably there'll be a good buying. This is a nice buying zone, this level that I'm marking. In case for some reason we get a dip, we could get a bounce from here. And the resistance points that I'm looking at is R1, that is 37,700, and even probably 35,900. There is some good resistance as we saw before, the 200 EMA and the price action resistance, right? See, we as of now, SGX Nifty is indicating a 100-point gap up. That means Bank Nifty could gap up around 200 points. But all that could change on, we could gap up around this area, 35,700 or above R1. See, the gap up could change tomorrow, but as of now, we are looking at a gap up. See, even on Friday, after the gap up, we came tested the R1. Let me put on this historical CPR. See, this dotted line is the R1 of CPR. After getting this breakout, we came tested the R1 twice and then we went to R2. So something like that. Once we get a gap up, always wait. My plan is to wait for a pullback either until the previous day high or the R1 of the CPR, and then see if we can get a short trade on the upside. But this level has a very strong resistance, that is 35,930. If somebody gets a good trade either at the CPR, a long trade, or at the previous day high, right, this will be a very good place to book profit, because there is a chance we might reverse from this point, that is 35,900 to 35,800, this level. See, on Friday, this is what we posted here, that when this first retest came, right, to the R1 and the test of 20 MA, we got this up move, kind of thought this pattern is breaking out. But what happened is, again, we took stop loss here, but we ended up going higher. This happens, can't do anything in the market. All these things happen. Now, just looking at Nifty, see, Nifty has a very strong resistance over here, this line that we can see, where we have taken resistance many times, almost like 1, 2, 3 days. We have taken resistance here at about 16,400. So for Nifty, 16,400 is a very strong resistance. If that breaks, the next target can be around 16,085, and we have this big gap in Nifty that still needs to be filled. That is from this level. Let me just shift to a 1 hour chart because the chart is all expanded. So the reason I'm saying 16,400 is a very strong resistance is this. You see the kind of price action. Every time we have come here, we have rejected. So we'll have to see if tomorrow we are going to break this, and the first target will be 16,480, and then probably 16,630 is also possible. Or we will again reverse from this 16,400 and come down. Now, the best place to buy Nifty is see, this is the strong resistance, right? In case we gap up above this and come and retest this level, this will and get a nice bullish price action, this will be a good place to buy. If not, we can even think of buying over here. This is again a good buy point. If the bank Nifty comes until 16,300, we can look to buy, and the next support is here, that is 16,220. So these are the levels that I have for Nifty and Bank Nifty for Monday. Let's see how it goes and hope we can make some money. Thank you, and please do like this video if you do like it. Thank you.